Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Church 360 entitled Sharing Your Church's Easter Stories on Your Website. My name is Stephen Jenkins. I'm one of the software consultants here at Concordia Technology Solutions. Here's my picture and my contact information. I am so blessed today to be joined by the one and only Ken Olemeyer. He is one of our senior marketing managers here at Concordia Publishing House, and this is Ken's beautiful picture and contact information here. He's going to hop on, and we actually might have a special guest with us as well. We just have to wait and see. Stay tuned. Before we jump in, let's get into a little bit of housekeeping. We are going to have 50 minutes for this presentation, and we'll reserve the last 10 minutes for questions. Now, don't wait until the end, please. Ask questions throughout. We are going to record this webinar and we'll share it with everyone who has registered. So if you need to step away, don't hesitate to do so. You'll get an email with that link to the recording of this webinar. Now, a little bit about us. We're Concordia Technology Solutions, and we are the church administration division of Concordia Publishing House. We've actually been making software for quite a bit, since 1984. Again, this webinar is on Church 360 Unite, and Church 360 Unite is just one of the 3 available products in the Church 360 suite. We have Church 360 members, which we just recently conducted a webinar on. And if you don't have much going on tomorrow, tune in for our webinar on Church 360 Ledger. More about Church 360 Unite. It's, of course, a church website builder. And with that, you have your website, your blog, member hub, file sharing, calendar, and mass emails. So with that, you are okay, I apologize, guys. I'm going to actually start over. And I hope everyone can hear me. I was just informed that no one could see my screen. So we'll start over here. Again, I'm Stephen Jenkins. We are doing today's webinar on Church 360 Unite entitled Sharing Your Church's Easter Stories on Your Website. It's an overview webinar. Here's my contact information. I'm a software consultant here. Been here a little over 7 years. The webinar is going to be conducted by Ken Olemeyer, and here's his contact information. Again, with the housekeeping, 50 minutes for this presentation, 10 minutes for the questions at the end, but don't wait. Ask questions throughout the webinar. We're going to record and share this webinar. Concordia Technology Solutions is the church administration division of Concordia Publishing House. We've been making software for churches since 1984. Unite is just one of 3 of our products in the Church 360 suite. We have Church 360 members, the administrative tool, and Ledger, which is the financial piece of our suite. With Unite, it is a church website builder. However, with the website, you also have the capabilities of creating and uploading blogs, your member hub, so you can access individuals' profiles and their contact information, create directories. You can share files throughout the software as well, maintain your calendar of events, and create them, and even send invitations to those events to individuals, and create emails and send them out to mass email lists. With Unite, all themes that are available with the software are mobile responsive. You can sync this software with our church administrative software, both Church 360 members and our PC-based software, which is Shepherd Staff. Custom domain name hosting and custom emails are available within this software. Support never runs out. So we train you on how to use the software when you purchase it, and the support is included with the software. No additional cost for that. Now, in preparation for today's webinar, we came up with a couple of assumptions. The first one, we're assuming that you're somewhat familiar with church websites, and that's what's piquing your interest into Church 360 Unite. We're assuming that you're new to Unite and that you are extremely busy, and we do thank you for your time and appreciate it. Again, if you have to break away for any reason, don't worry, we're recording this webinar and we will send you a link to this webinar. But I want to give you this opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself. You should see a question box or dialog box. Feel free to type in where you're from, where your church is located, the name of your church, what has you interested in Church 360 Unite, and any questions that we can answer or anything that you want to share. Okay. Now, the outline for today's webinar, we're going to do an overview of the tools that are provided with this great software. Ken is going to go through a couple of examples. And again, we'll wrap up with the questions and answers. So with Church 360 Unite, we have themes and various styles that you can navigate between. You are able to create different types of pages and feeds that are assigned to those pages as well. Now, again, you have your full access to your calendar and your events, so you can broadcast to the world what's going on at your church, and you can even send invitations to those events that are sent out via email. Now, we have user and member only type tools. For example, we have pages that are can be marked private, so that you have to have login access to access those particular pages. We do have a directory with groups and mailing labels as well, and that is all included in this software. But without further delay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna let Ken go ahead and take over, and I'll drop off the screen here.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm gonna pull my screen up here real quick.
Excellent.
And I'm hoping everybody, okay, good. I can see that you're all seeing my screen. Thank you so much for being here today. I just am so excited to get back into this and start doing some of these presentations again. It's been a while since Stephen and I have done one of these, and we got, as Stephen mentioned earlier, I'm very excited to welcome on board a new person with us. As many of you who have been involved or have been looking at maybe some of our previous webinars or some of the material on CTS, Concordia Technology Solution, you might recognize Peter Frank. We're very excited to say that Peter, just this past couple of weeks, has received his vicarage call. So he has been involved at Concordia Seminary for the last couple of years, and he's now going on his third year vicarage. He's leaving us here in St. Louis, but that's okay. We brought on somebody new, and I want to introduce Rob Davidson to you. And Rob is the marketing manager on digital products, and he is going to be helping out with some of these as well and starting to really kind of start being a little bit of the face of some of the things going on with our digital products. So you'll get to know Rob in the coming months as well. And just, I want to thank you, Rob, for joining me today. It's great to have you here with us.
Thank you, Ken. It's good to be here.
All right. Well, hey, we entitled this presentation, Sharing Your Church's Easter Stories on Your Website. But, it is really so much more than that. It's all about finding easy ways to share your stories and just try to make it, show your church off as that engaging place that it can be. And since we celebrated Easter, we're just going to go ahead and use that in some of our examples. But it really is all about telling your stories. We're talking about how easy it is to develop your website. We've used this term before in the past. I've used this in the past of making your website a communications hub. Stephen kind of alluded to some of the different things that are involved with our Church 360 Unite, some of the ways that you can really key in and share that information, not only with your members, but those visitors who came by for Easter Sunday. And we're going to talk about this. And the beauty of all of this, you don't need to know a lick of code. A lot of times we think about websites and we think about, oh, how difficult it would be. Well, that's because most of the time in the past, there was a lot of coding involved. And if you do know some coding, I'll show you some ways you can customize some of the things on Church 360 Unite. It is a very customizable site so that you can do what you want to do with it to tell your church's story, but you don't need any of that background. I'm going to show you how easy this is. If you think about it, how has communications changed in the time you've been in your church? Do you remember mimeograph bulletins? How about, when we had to go to the yellow pages to do an ad, or things like changing the letters on your signs, or even think about the last couple of years, how your communications has changed with shelter in place. I always joke too, did you ever assume that you'd see so many different Lutheran churches online now broadcasting? It's all great because everything now, just about everything, is digital and online. And communicating to your members is now more important than ever, reaching them where they are. And let me just share a quick story with you. I didn't always work in the church. In fact, I came from an advertising agency background. And early in my agency career, I remember when websites were first coming out, and this was the early 90s or so. And Rob, you'll get a kick out of this story. I was presenting a website to a client, and we had everybody there. We had marketing, we had sales, we had engineering. And it quickly became very obvious to me that we were all talking a different language. We were all going over each other's heads because each of those audiences had a different need. And back in those days, there was like one way to do it. Well, I learned a very valuable lesson that day, and that was, especially in digital communications and in websites, you need to think always about where your customers are and where you can reach them. And when I say customers, think about your visitors, your members, people who are trying to find out about your church so that they can attend, which leads me to today. I do get a chance to get out and talk with a lot of pastors. I get a chance to talk with youth leaders, teachers, etc. And I also talk to people who are looking for churches. I was the new member elder at my church. And how do you think people go about finding your church? Well, you may try the LCMS directory or the annual, that's great. But think about how you go and find places. You probably go straight to Google and type in a name or type in an area and then go to people's websites. A website reflects a lot on your church. And that's why we're going to spend some time kind of going through this and talking about it. Websites really show the personality of the church, the vitality of the church, the activities of the church. And I love seeing those websites that are able to show the multi-generational things that are going on. They're as vibrant as the church itself. They talk about Bible studies. They show video. They can have music, lots of different things in there. And we're going to talk about how we can take people who looked at who visited during Easter, how we can share some of those stories, but how you can do that throughout the year. This isn't just an Easter presentation. We're going to take a 30,000-foot view today. I mean, we're going to go through this somewhat fast, but one of the things that I do recommend is going online to our Concordia Technology Solution website, finding the Unite page, and then signing up for a free demo. You can do a free trial with this just to kind of kick the tires, see how easy it is to use. You get 30 days to work on it. We're here to help you with your questions, anything that you have on there. And you'll notice it's a free trial, no credit card needed, no obligation or anything like that. So go ahead. I invite you to take that free demonstration. I think you'll find it very helpful. Okay, so we're going to get started on here. And you see on my screen, this is my church website that I'm building. And for the sake of this demonstration, we're calling it Concordia Lutheran Church. And this is the view as an administrator you would see when you first sign in. You notice a couple different things in here. You have a navigation tool at the top where it's pages, posts, activity, users, themes, and your settings. These will always be up here when you're in the administrative view. These are not seen as a user going on to it. But the other thing you see here on the far left side is an edit page. And we'll go into how to edit the pages and things like that, but it's just a little tab. You just pull it out, you can edit your pages right away. All right, so we're all used to seeing websites. When you go to a website, what are some of the types of things that you like to see at a website? Do you like the big pictures? Do you like being able to scroll through and see multiple things at one time? Like, for instance, I've got this on a carousel view where we're able to talk about our Sunday school Bible studies. We're talking about our church-wide VBS. We're talking about Christmas even. It's not too early to start thinking about Christmas, even though we just finished Easter. Many of us have confirmations coming up. So these are areas that you're able to just start sharing that story with your visitors who might be coming to your site for the very first time. But then there are other things that you can put right on the front page as well. Your service times, when you're doing Bible study, your contact information, all of those things. We are so used to seeing it now on websites. You have the ability to have all of that right in the front. You also see a number of different tabs. We'll get into some of these tabs even more specifically as we go along. But as a communication tool, one of the first things you really want to do is get a sense of what you want your site to look like. So when those visitors come to it, how do you want it to be to them? What's the feel that you want to do to them? Well, one of the advantages we have with Church 360 Unite is these themes. So you notice the tab right there, I just clicked on it, says themes. When I do that, a number of designed themes come up. These are straight out of the box. They're somewhat customizable as well. Again, if you know coding or if you have somebody that can customize it, you have that advantage and that ability to do that. But if you know nothing about design, you know nothing about coding, you barely can get to the website sometime, here's a way to make it very, very easy for you. These are free with your subscription. So there's just a number of different styles, a number of different types. You really want to select a theme that matches the feel for your church. Kind of think of it as the window dressing, if you will, within your house. And within those themes, as I said, you want to select something that's going to reflect appropriately to your church. We have a lot of different options here. Now, I recommend that you don't change these all the time. There's things you can do to go in and change some colors and things like that. We'll go into that, but let's look at this real quick. So if I go into a preset theme and I just click on it, keep my finger down there, I can get a little bit better view of what that theme is going to look like. Here's another example. And you see that pop up and I get that idea. Let's say I wanted something here. Well, again, a little different views. And I can just go through these, pick a theme that really works for me. They can be very standard types of themes. And they can have a little bit more color to them or more design to them if that's what you'd like on your church. So all of those themes are available to you. They're very easy. And play around with it a little bit. Try a few different themes as you're developing your site. You're not going to, if you've input data, you're not going to lose that data as you change your themes, but that'll help you get a sense of it. The other thing that I love down here, way at the bottom, I'm just kind of highlighting it on my screen. There's some description about the specific theme you're looking at, and even to the size of imagery and things of that nature. We try to make it very easy for you. Once you figure that out, all you have to do is hit apply theme, and that design is in here. So again, no coding. How convenient is that? And Rob, I know you've coded some websites. I've coded some websites. It's nice just to be able to grab something and have it right there and make it available to you.
That's right.
A couple other things too on the side. You see, I mentioned we can customize these. So you can go in and you can add different styles to your themes. And you see even here, I've got a little graphic that shows how quick my fonts load and things like this. But you can go in and select it. You can change the size of your fonts. You can change the fonts themselves. You can change the color of your fonts. So there's a lot of style customization you can do. There's even some inline styles. You notice this one I did here to emphasize type that's in my body copy and things like that. And I can easily go in there and make those changes. All I have to do is save or save as. I can give it a name. There's other customization you can do as well. Let's say I wanted to change some of my colors, and these are great for doing it within the church year. You see right now I was in purple and Lent. So I could go in there and change that to white, for the Easter season, or I can do it to green later or blue. You can go and change these colors, and it doesn't even have to be in the church year. You can change the colors to whatever you like. I've got navigation colors, sidebar colors, etc. there. I mentioned if you are a little bit more advanced in your understanding of styles or HTML or any type of coding, you can go in here and you can develop custom headers or custom scripts within your site as well. And then you can even go in here and actually clone one of the themes and then really do some total personalization for you as well. And you can make it completely your own. Now, one thing I will say in here with themes and with any of these type of things, I always put the plug in when I do these type of webinars for a style guide or a graphic standard. And what's helpful for that, and I'll show in different areas where you can assign different roles or different groups to some pages. It's so much more convenient for anybody that you're handing this off to or anybody that's working with you if they know what fonts to use, they know what colors to use, they know what size or types of pictures to include, things like that. Just that's a completely different aside. We could do an entire webinar just on developing a design guide or a style guide for your website. But I always love to put that plug in because I think it's really important. Now, one other last thing I want to show here too. Way down in the corner, in the right corner, there's a circle I, and that will be on every page as you're working. That circle I is just a button for information, and it allows you to type in a question. So let's just say changing theme color. Let's just see if there's anything in here. Okay, right there. What are some ways I can further customize my themes in Church 360? And that's an FAQ for us, customized theme styles. So if you've got a question or if you forgot how to do something, that information is right down there at your fingertips. The other things you can do is actually send us a message where you can put as much information as you can in that question box. That way we can help answer it for you the first time so that you can just keep moving with developing your website. But you're always welcome to call us too, 800-346-6120. So that is always at your fingertips so that you're never alone as you're developing your page. Okay, let's move on. Let's add some content to this. And as I said earlier, there are just a few things that are pretty consistent that are between websites. We know that there's going to be certain tabs that you're going to want to use, certain things like this. So I just moved over to pages. And that, again, was here at the top in my navigation. So I moved over to pages. And this is where your navigation and your content live. And content is just a fancy way of saying all the communication stuff that's on your website that your members, or sometimes even more importantly, your visitors can come and learn about your church. This is where you really have that great opportunity to share things, to engage with your audience. And this is really where your personality and your tone comes through as you're developing, text and imagery and things like that for your website. So you see this split into two areas. One are my active menu items. I'm highlighting that with my cursor. These are my categories, and then you have your available menu items. And these where some of my pages are. You see I've got some that are drafts. I've got some that are members only. We'll go into some of the members only areas as well. But it's very easy to add a page. So let me do this first real quick, because I want to show you, again, this active menu items. And I mentioned these are where my tabs are. I'm going to click right here to home again. Now it's going to take me to my home page. And I'll show you how the tabs are lined up here. So I've got my home page. I've got my visit page, about us, special worship services at Concordia. We're going to talk about that as it relates to being able to put in some media and some pictures and things like that to add into your Easter materials. You can put your news and have sub areas in here. Ministry, I'm going to talk about that and show you some things. You can upload your sermons, video or audio. And then you can put LCMS links and resources. I'll put a little plug in there. When you do that, we'd love for you to put cph.org as one of your links. That really does help us help your members as well. So let me go back to pages and just talk about how we can add these categories or these tabs. You see on the far right upper part of this, next to available menu items, I have two areas with little plus signs next to them. This is how I would add a tab. So I can add a category. And when I do that, you see it comes right down into my category there. I'm not going to save that change. I'm just going to move on. In fact, I'll just save it. So it needs to have a name. So I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. And then you see this, add pages. And this is where your content can live too. So if I click on add pages, it gives me a number of options here. Well, it should be, oh, I think save changes. That's what I need to do. Well, it is not. Let me do this. Let me get out of here. Let me go back to here. Ah, there we go. This is the beauty of sometimes doing a live demo with our internet and things like that. So I've set add page, and then it pops up to this screen. And this is where you can have some personalization, or you can use some preset options. So you see things like a RSS feed, a simple syndicated feed. You can add a group page, and I'm going to show you groups because I really am excited about the group side of this. You can have a blank page and just start fresh, or we provide some preset options for you. Some of those standard tabs that you're going to want to have on your website, like worship times, what to expect, maybe helping those visitors understand a little bit about your church before they even get in the door. Mission and vision, what's the mission of our church? Directions, how do people get to our church? Who is Jesus? Different things here, news and announcements. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you'll see if you add one of these pages, we already pre-populate it with some ideas for you, so you can have that. So let's go to a page and start doing some editing. And for today's demo, I just want to show you how easy it is to get to a page and make those demos. So again, let me go to my home page. I could do it from here. I could click on any one of those pages and go direct to it, but I'll show you from the home page. So for time's sake, I'm just going to go to a tab that I already have developed. And I mentioned this before, special worship services at the church, at Concordia. So you see different things I put in here. Christmas worship times, had that available during the Advent season. Music for the Christmas season, music for the Lenten season, Christmas photos, Easter photos, Sunday school services. You could put in your Sunday school service. There's so many different things you can do here. But let's just say, I'll show you a couple things here real quick before I go into the Easter photos, show you how easy it is to add some media into there. I had a site, music for the Lenten season. And what I was able to do with that is go in and add a Spotify playlist that we had that had Easter and Lenten hymns into it, and Pentecost, which is coming up, our Ascension coming up soon. Then I had my YouTube videos that I've added. I'll show you how to do that in another section as well. So let's just say I wanted to have that available to my congregation. Maybe it's some video of your choir. You could do that. I want to add some Easter photos. I want to tell that story of what we just did at Easter. So this was a page that I quickly put together, and some of this can be tweaked and made for your church as well. But these are some pictures that I had before Ash Wednesday, and then promoting the fact that Easter was coming April 17th. Let me show you something. I go to edit page, and when I do that, you see I'm able to edit now, and I have different blocks here. These were some different areas that I had put in here. I have little pluses where I could add another block, and let's do this one first. Let's go in here. There are two different buttons at the top, a little edit sign and a gear sign. And I'm going to actually go here, and I'm going to go edit cell type. So it shows me that I can, any changes that I make to the type could delete the content of the cells. Any change would be gone. But I'm going to make this a carousel because I want to change that, and I want to bring in some pictures. So now I'm going to go edit. And I go in here. This is just how easy it is. Add image. So I want to click in here and add image. Whoop. I need to actually go in here and add some images. Hold on. Oh, let me do that. So when I hit select, when I go to hit select for my add image, I can upload some new imagery. So let me just do that real quick. And you see I've got a few of these things coming up. So I'm going to open that one. It's going to upload it. I'm going to add another picture here, add image, select. Yep, upload. And let's just say I want to show another picture of the church in all of its Easter glory. Then I'm going to, and that one I'm going to select there. Yep. Select that one, I'm going to add one more image. And you see just easy it is. I'm going to upload another one. And let's just say I want to show, oh, let's see. I had another good one here. Show that image of the church. I'm going to collect that one. Now, I can also in my pictures put a heading or a caption on it as well. But let's just say save. And what that is going to do, and I'm going to go here and say publish, because sometimes with the carousel, it may not go until I get done with it. So there's my carousel. So I'm able to show the pictures. And you saw earlier on my homepage, I had a carousel, same type of thing. And I can go through there and I can show those pictures of Easter. I can start to tell the story of what we as a church did. And let's say I wanted to add just a couple more into there. Oh, and you see up here at the top bar too, saved. One of the great things I love about working with any of our Church 360 products, whether it's Members, it's Unite or Ledger, is it walks you through a lot of these type of things. The key is always, and especially with Unite, is to remember to hit save as you go through these so you don't lose any of your things that you're working on. But I'm back to edit, and I'm going to click in here. I'm going to add another type of page. Actually, I'm going to make this a 2-column. So you see, I just had a cell. I'm adding a different cell. I can just drag these cells over, very simple like that. I'm going to edit in here. And now I want to type something. And you see that when I clicked in to type something, it comes up with a what you see is what you get editor. So I can click in here and say, thank you to all of our visitors and members during this Easter season. Again, just doing something real quick there. I'm going to click and say publish. Well, let me do this before I even go there. I can change now my text size. Again, these are those fonts that I showed you earlier. So maybe it's, I've got Christmas style. Maybe I would want to do this in a different type of style and do my text align like that. I would have to mess with my styles here because you see that they're kind of put up together like that. So let me do that and just hit OK. I don't know if I would do a big, bold, red underline one like that, but that's just, it shows you how simple that is in there. And then maybe in this, I want to add another image. So I click into edit and I do a little show more items right here. And well, let me show you how easy it is to insert media. So I'm going to click here. And if you have a YouTube channel or anything like that where you can put your media URL, let me see here real quick. I'm going to add something. I'm going to go to Concordia Publishing House Music's YouTube channel. And I've got that on another screen here. I'm going to click into something here. And I'm going to copy. Here, I'll drag this over. I'm just going to show you how to do this. I'm going to go in here and share. I'm going to copy the URL. Turn that off because it's playing already. And then I'm going to go in here. I'm going to click in here. I'm going to say insert media, paste. I hit OK. And right there you see that. I'm going to hit publish so that it's saved. And now I'm able to share that story. I'm going to get out of edit page so you can see my carousel. But now I'm starting to build things that help share the story of what we did at Easter this year. And these are great ways to just really engage not only your members, but for those visitors who are coming in trying to find a church home and they see things going on at your church. They see pictures. They see, how you decorated. They have, messaging for them. You can see video and things of that nature. These are all very simple ways to help tell a story and help engage your visitors. What do you think about that, Rob?
It's something else. I've used a lot of website builders in my time, and the ability to just jump in and put a YouTube little embed code right in the middle of your site. Not many can do that, and none of them are especially built for the needs of churches. So it's, I'm still getting used to all of our softwares underneath CTS, and it's just the more and more I get to see what all they can do, the more I'm just completely impressed.
Well, I love it too. I mean, there are certain things even within this site, and I'm going to show that next actually, but just the ease of this. Now, again, I'm just doing this quickly. You would be able to tweak it and size it for how you want to do it and all that.
Of
And
course.
that might be
Of
another
course.
great webinar topic or a
Yeah.
little segment where of just how do I size this? How do I change that font that I just put in there and make it look a little bit better? For the sake of today's demo, though, I just want to show you how quick and how easy it is and how, I'm not a coder. I don't know how to type in all the code. It's done for me in the background.
Hmm.
Yeah, Rob, you just brought up something great, and that's groups. I love the groups. And this is one of those things that, in my experience of working with other web pages and builder type of pages, I've really never seen anything like that that's part of the package. I've seen other things that you might have to grab and a plug in here or a plug in there, but this is all a part of Church 360 Unite. And that was one of the first things when I first started learning about Church 360 Unite. The groups function is what really, really blew me away. So let's do this. Let's go under ministry. And you see, I have my different ministries here, my children's ministry, my youth ministry, my adult ministry, and then my music ministry. And this is just a page that I have on music. Again, this would be a great place to put a video of your church choir or put a video of your orchestra or your organist playing or your piano recitals or whatever. But you see, I have that on here and I just have a few just announcements types of things in here. We're planning now our summer choir services. Practice will be getting soon. But then you see this, you see church choir. And when I click on it, it's a clickable link. So when I do that, and there's a description, this is a group page for our church choir. We'll use this page for announcements, reminders, resources, and support. Please let us know what you need and thank you for your time, etc. Things like this. But watch what happens when I click on that link. This now is an example of one of our group pages. And I really like this, and we'll go in here and play around with some editing on it and things like this. Because you see, I'm behind. I'm still showing my Advent and Christmas practices. But I have my column to one side. But then notice this column here. And this is where I think it's really interesting with the group page. This is what makes this group so exciting, so useful for us. You have a discussion board. You have an event calendar. You have different topics you can do. In this one, I have music videos. You have a list of members. So you could list all your choir members in here. And as an administrator, I can go in and edit the group or edit membership settings. But one of the things that is so interesting on this discussion board, I mean, one of the things we're all used to now with social media is posting things and having these discussions online. Well, here is where you can go straight to this and just say something like this. You notice I have different ways to post this as a discussion, as a prayer request, as an announcement. But let's just say as an announcement, I go in and I say, thanks to every musician and singer for participating in Easter services. I do that, I just hit post. And that then gets posted and it becomes part of my discussion board right there. So you see it right there. It took a little bit of time on my connection here, but thanks to every musician for saying, and it's color coded. So I see a prayer request, please pray for Pam and her family during her recent illness. Announcement, we need a few more tenors for summer choir. Do you know anyone? These are things that are a unique group to the members that you've assigned to it. So I can click into members and I have all the different members that are in this group. I can email the group out of this. I mean, think how convenient that is if you're in charge of a group, or let's say you're in a Bible study and you need to know something, or the pages have changed, or there's a weather announcement or things like this. You can go straight into your Church 360 Unite as that group member and you can communicate with your people there. Events, if you want to go in the event page, it loads a calendar up that is specific to your group. So let's say I wanted to put a new event here. Saturday, we're going to practice summer choir. No, that's summer. Let's do this. Easter barbecue. So we're going to get everybody together for an Easter barbecue, and you notice the calendar is just for the church choir. But let's say I wanted to add somebody else. I wanted to put the fellowship group in there too. I can do that. And then this event will be put onto their calendar as well. I can put the time and the location, the place, and all those type of things. But I love this feature too. I can put an invitation. I can invite the people that I want to have come to this. I can put reminders. So let's say, again, you're developing your choir practice and you need to remind people 3 days before, 4 days before, an hour before. You can set that up and just say, hey, don't forget we have choir practice tonight. It's going to be, and maybe you change the location of it and you wanted to email everybody up. But I love that. I love the fact that you're able to add an event and it's going to come up, you see right there. So it's 7 p.m. right there. And it's now into my area. Another quick thing too, just, in here, I added videos of music and I just have a wonderful page for music videos to watch and be inspired by. So it gives us something that we can add in there. And again, these are just YouTube videos, or if you have your own media, you can add that own media in there as well. So, imagine the functionality of this for you, being able to go in there easily to do that. Now, I've kind of moved away from my visitors, but let's say you have a visitor page like this or something, and it's a special group and they can sign in and it's just geared to them, or new members. People who have just joined your church. You can have a special group for them to help assimilate them into your congregation. Again, the tools are there for you to use for your congregation. Now, we didn't want to just come out with something and said, this is the way every page is going to be. You have the ability to use these as building blocks, to use these as ways to customize for your own church and to directly talk to your members and directly engage with them. Now, let's find a different way to get to this group. Now, you notice I came into here under ministry, but let's say I wanted to go to about us, and this is one of the tabs. You see a couple different things here. I included a tab for Concordia groups. And look up here. This is a members only site, and it's just for the groups that I'm involved in. So, the pastor's confirmation class, the church choir again, the women's Bible study, these don't have to be church related. They can be social groups as well. The summer golf league, I'm going to click into that. And we show, an activities group. Again, it could be your quilters, your altar guild, your elders, anything like that. They can have their own group within your website that they can go in and discuss things with each other. I'm going to go back into my group here, Concordia groups, and just show you the other way to get into this. I have my church choir group right here. It's right there. I love this too for if you had your confirmation class. And I mentioned earlier, I know a lot of churches right now are going to be having confirmation. If you haven't already, you're going to be having it very shortly. This would be a great place to have your confirmation kids and their parents sign up, and they would have all the lessons available to them. They would have the discussion group available to them. They would have the event so that nobody could say, I didn't see it. It was on the event calendar. You could have your members that you could email them, etc. This group session, Rob, I love that. I love the ability to be able to do that right off the bat like that. If you think about it, it's private, it's convenient, and it's extremely flexible to your needs, and it sets your website apart from any others. Like I said, I have really never seen that type of information available. Now, one other thing too that's great, it's a church is made up of many different individuals, but it's the members and it's the activities and all that you promote here on your website. So if I go to About Us, you see a Concordia members section here. Again, this is a private area that I have that's a searchable directory of our members. So if you use Church 360 members, if you use Shepherd staff, these will, we can help you integrate this in here if you're using Shepherd staff. But if you use Church 360 members, it automatically integrates, it automatically syncs. And how convenient and time saving that would be for you as well. So all of your members can be found in here in this members only area. I've locked it off so that nobody else can get into it. We can still invite new members or things like this, but I can also go in here and just quickly find somebody. So let's say I wanted to, I needed to track down one of our members. Oops, let me type here, James. So as I type, just James, you see here's a James first name, first names, or a last name. So just, it picks it up right off the bat. Anybody you're trying to find. What I love about it too is you don't have to have the name just spelled right. If you start the first few letters, it will automatically find them. And that is a feature that I love in Church 360 members as well. But it gives me all of their information. So right off the bat, from my members only directory, I have Barry's information. I could call him, I could send him an email. If I had Mary's listings or Larry's listings, I'd have them as well. But I love having that right at my fingertips. I can also go in here and edit the household as well. So let's say I did want to add Mary's picture or add her or her update or things like that. I can go in there and do that from this site as well. Let me click back here. If I click into Barry too, oh, come on, Barry. Sometimes I just need to refresh because I start going so fast here on the link. Well, if I clicked into Barry too, I'd be able to see what groups he was involved in as well. Again, I don't know of many websites that allow you that type of flexibility to have that option to you. Other things too, under users, Stephen talked about this a little bit. We can go in and we can email our user base. Again, we have to have their emails, but it's all right there for you as well. And we can invite to receive text as well for us. So that is a very convenient thing. Let's say I was just up in Michigan sharing some of those Church 360 materials with some of the office personnel up there. It was a great conference, loved it. But one of the things we were talking about is how convenient it is to be able to send out emails or texts if there's a weather-related issue. And just have that right at your fingertips and get every member of your congregation taken care of right there. And one of the things, when you do send these emails out, these are sent through a relay system. So it doesn't look like spam. It goes through and it sends it through relay.360unite.com. So it wouldn't be a spam type of thing. Let me just see if I can do that real quick. But it wouldn't, it would look like a regular email. And it also, there's a requirement in there for some of the GDRP, the legal requirements for being able to unsubscribe and things like that. So they would be able to do that. All right, I am up against time. So I just wanted to say thank you for this. And just, again, we went through a lot of things very, very fast. But I think you can see where you can really start to tell your church's story. We talked about Easter. We used Easter as an example. We've got other things coming up now, soon, very soon. You can share those big events from your VBS in group pages or in being able to tell the visual story of your VBS. We've got the summer months coming up, and then before you know it, hard to believe, but it's going to be Lent again and Christmas. Well, it's going to be Christmas and Advent very, very fast before you know it. So you'll be able to do that. But what Church 360 Unite allows you to do is have a professionally designed looking website without having to know any coding or without having to know anything about developing a website. It's all right there for you. And if you do have questions, you've got the information button and direct access to us. We'd love to help you out with that. In fact, this is the type of site that can grow and change as your church's needs grow and change. And it's all in your subscription with updates that come regularly when there are things to happen. And that's one other thing too I want to point out. We are able to develop updates based on the needs of our customers and the needs of our church members. So if you see something and you have a question, or if you say, boy, I'd really like to have this feature, try us, let us know. We'll see if we can get it into the process and do it. One last thing too I want to say before I get off of this. The other thing, it is a web-based and mobile responsive site, so that one of the things we do when we are searching now, think about how many times you look straight to your phone. You're not on your desktop, you're not even a laptop or a tablet, you go straight to your phone. If a visitor is trying to find your church, they go straight to their phone, and this is a mobile responsive site, so it looks great at any size screen, whether it's your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, or your phone. This site will be taken care of. And again, you didn't have to worry about programming it that way. Our folks worried about all that type of things. So I'm going to switch it over to Stephen right now. Stephen, if you've got some questions or if there's anything we can help answer, Let's do that. I know we're coming up on our time, and I just want to be very conscious of that for people.
All righty. I'm waiting for you to switch it over to me.
Why don't I switch you as presenter?
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
All right. So I just want to say, Ken, you did an amazing job as always. So much of an amazing job that there are no questions. So what I want to
Stephen,
do is just, I want to cover a couple of questions that we get sometimes.
Yep.
Now, individuals will ask about, and you did cover this, the amount of users that are allowed. Now, with this, it's unlimited users. Now, as far as admins are concerned, we do have 3 separate packages, and all the information is on the site. And don't hesitate to reach out to us in the sales team so we can cover the 3 packages. But the amount of admins that are allowed is based on the amount of the package that you particularly choose. But for users, it's unlimited users. You can have as many people using this software as you like. And that means login capabilities to see certain calendars and certain events and those private pages that you want to only share with your members and keep private from the rest of the world.
And you know what I love about that, Stephen, is
Yes.
that frees up as a church administrator, that frees you up from having to be the one to constantly update somebody's page or constantly
Absolutely.
be worried about doing. You can assign a user to certain groups or to certain individuals or whatever, and they're responsible for updating their page.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. That's key and a huge feature and benefit to having the software. I do have on our screen here the website that you will go to start a free trial. Definitely do that. Just don't take our word and this webinar as testament of why you should have this software. Play around with it yourself. You're definitely going to love it. So please feel free to visit 360unite.com to start a free 30-day trial. No obligation, no credit card required. Play around as much as you like and even give access to others to play around as well. This is my contact information again, and to the right, software sales. Send us an email if you have any questions. I don't see any now, but as you review or just think about this webinar and the great features, I'm sure some questions may come to mind. And so do not hesitate to reach out to either me directly or drop a line to the software sales at cts.cph.org. That will get to our team here, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. So,
Yep. And Stephen, I did see somebody had their hand raised, and I just sent a note. And if they have a question, go ahead, feel free to answer it now or to ask it now. If it's something that comes up later or you've stepped away, we can address it at another time.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't see any questions coming through here, but again, this recording is going to be shared with all the attendees here. So as you review and go back and maybe some more questions will populate.
Wait. I've got the
Okay.
question. Is it necessary or desirable to have a dedicated webmaster?
Is it necessary to have a dedicated webmaster? Dedicated, not so much. But you will have one main administrator for your Church 360 account, whether you have the other 2 products, Members or Ledger. But again, based on the particular package that you have with Unite, it will determine the amount of administrators you're allowed. But yes, you're going to have a main administrator who first goes in to give access to all of the regular members and assign some of those individuals admin capabilities. So you would definitely have to have that one person for that. But outside of that, not so much.
Yeah, and I would say, and again, that's the advantage too of having some sort of style guide or graphic standard for people that you're assigning roles to. And
Mhm.
Rob, I don't know what you think about something like that.
Well, I definitely think it's important to have some level of consistency throughout your site. But like you were sharing before, if the church feels like it would be more impactful to tweak their design easily through the themes throughout the year to match whether it's a Lenten or Advent season or what have you, you have the ability to do that without it impacting the formatting of the rest of your site, which most web builders don't allow you to do that.
Yep. And wait, I see one other one here with a question. Let me see if I can get to that one.
Have how do I know what package I currently have from Janet?
Okay, good.
Okay. Just send me an email or send an email to the software sales email address. Let us know the name of your church you're with, your contact information there. So city, state, zip. We'll look into it and we'll provide that information for you. But you can go to the settings as well. The settings will tell you whether you have the standard edition, the advanced edition, or the premium edition. You can find it right there if you already have the software. But if you can't find it, drop us a line or give us a call, and we can definitely provide that information for you. Good question.
Yep, we always love hearing from our users or potential users.
Absolutely.
So.
Yes. And to add on that a little bit, so Ken had mentioned the circle with the eye in it, the information/help desk. If you click that and click the link that says send us a message, you can actually use that to not only ask questions, because remember, with this software, support is unlimited, does not run out, but provide feedback. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know something that we may not offer at this time that you need to make this software that you cannot live without. We love getting that feedback and finding out what new features our customers and potential customers are interested in so we can work on developing them and adding them to the software.
Hey, Stephen, let me add one more thing to that. It's like one more thing. That
Yes.
support is based here. It's stateside support. And I say that only that if you've ever been on a long phone call with software support, you have support here in St. Louis, and we are here to help you in those type of things.
Right in this building, yes. So no outsourcing for support. Definitely you will have enjoyable conversations with all of those geniuses on that side. Those guys are wonderful, and we only get great remarks when it comes to feedback on speaking with our support team. So very happy that I'm working with those guys. They're a great part of our team. So I'm checking here. I don't see any additional questions. I don't see any hands raised. Double check, guys. Do you see anything that I may be missing?
No, I think we've got it.
Well, we are coming up on time anyway. Definitely on behalf of Rob and Ken, this is Stephen Jenkins. I definitely want to thank all of you for your time and reach out to us. Let us know what questions you have or any way that we can assist you with your church management needs. Have a blessed day, everyone, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.